morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Post-monsoon death toll rises to 141 people still missing due to floods in different districts. PM Dioba inspects flood-hit areas in Sudur Paschim province, posed to prepare long-term plans to address the problem. Chief Minister Ashtalakshmi Sakya urges lawmakers to back her ruling coalition and fringe parties deny vote for confidence to the CM. UN report urges world leaders to cut off fossil fuel production, ask big economics to keep up their promise. And Newcastle in talks with former Roma manager Fonseca. The club's new owners want to replace manager Steve Bruce. And now the news in detail. At least 101 people have been killed in floods and landslides triggered by heavy rainfall in different parts of the country. According to the Nepal police, 60 people were killed in the landslide in Province 1 in Bagmati, 7 in Karnali, 31 in Sudur Paschim and 2 in Lumbini. Our report. A total of 41 people have gone missing in the floods, including 13 in Province 1 in Province 2, 3 in Lumbini, 1 in Karnali and 23 in Far Western Province. A search for the missing is underway, said Senior Superintendent of Police Basant Bahadur Kunwar. Likewise, 19 people have been injured in Province 1, 4 in Karnali and 17 in the Sudur Paschim. The injured are being treated at local medical facilities. Altogether, 2,232 houses have been inundated due to the floods. The floods and landslides have reportedly damaged 49 houses, 8 cow sheds, 6 bridges and 3 government offices. So far, 139 livestock have perished in the recent disasters. During this period, 1,177 families have been displaced by the floods and landslides. Meanwhile, police personnel are working to evacuate the people at risk of floods and landslides in different districts. Security forces are working in coordination with various agencies and locals. Work is also underway to remove load bags at various places, Nepal police said. Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Dioba has vowed to solve the problems of landslide and flood survivors by making a long-term plan. A report. Prime Minister Dioba, who arrived at Dodhara Chandani in course of the inspection of flood and landslide hit areas in Sudur Paschim province, said the region was worst hit by the disaster. Prime Minister Dioba, who was deeply moved by the impact of flood and landslide, said he would be making a perspective plan after reaching Kathmandu to address such problems. He said he was saddened to see the loss and damage caused by the floods and landslides. PM Dioba was accompanied by Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma, Tourism Minister Prem Ale, former ministers Ramesh Lekhak, NP South and Bir Bahadur Balayar. The Prime Minister team earlier inspected the devastations caused by the post-monsoon rains in Doti, Bazhang, Baitari and Dadilhura and arrived at Dodhara yesterday evening. The team also held an aerial inspection of riverine areas of Brahmadev and Mahakali. So far, 31 persons have lost lives in Sudur Paschim province, while 23 went missing and 17 were injured. The road transportation to the hill district has been cut off due to landslides. The flooded Mahakali River caused damage at Bhimdatta Municipality 9, 11, 12 and 13 and Dodhara Chandani. The under construction 4-lane road along the Mahakali River has been badly damaged. Those displaced by the flood and landslides are taking shelter at public places including community schools. The post-monsoon disaster has affected Sudur Paschim province the most. Provincial Assembly of Bagmati Province has started discussion on a proposal to seek vote of confidence by Chief Minister Asta Lakshmi Sakya. The ruling alliance as well as fringe parties have denied backing Chief Minister Sakya, who had presented her proposal seeking vote of confidence on October 10. Speaking at a discussion on the proposal at the Provincial Assembly meeting yesterday, Chief Minister Sakya urged the lawmakers to support her, stating that she has been committed to follow the constitution and fight for social justice, democracy and human rights. Provincial Assembly members of the CPN Maoist Centre, Salikram Jamar Katel, said that although Chief Minister Sakya deserves to get vote of confidence as a capable and trustworthy individual, she cannot get the support on political grounds. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 470 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 807,522, while the number of active cases has dropped to 11,315. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 11,326 after the virus claimed 8 more lives yesterday. Nepal is currently among top 44 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 46.17 million confirmed cases, followed by India with over 34.14 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 243.24 million people across the world and claimed over 4.94 million lives. The main opposition CPN-UML has decided to organize its 10th General Convention in Chitwan on November 26 to 28. The UML Standing Committee meeting yesterday also formed a 21-member management committee under the leadership of party leader and Bagmati Province in charge Ram Bahadur Thapa to conclude the convention, according to the party spokesperson Pradeep Gyawali. The General Convention of the party at ward level is scheduled to take place on October 23 and the municipal leave on October 26. However, the local level convention in flood-hit areas may get deferred, said Gyawali. A meeting of facilitation task force formed to implement the party's 10-point proposal has concluded, and its coordinator Dr. Bhim Rawal is slated to present suggestions in the party standing committee meeting later today. The meeting offered condolences to those who were killed in recent floods and landslides across the country. It also demanded the government to provide relief and medical treatment to those who have been injured in the disaster. And now the news from economic front. Cement prices are set to rise due to shortage of coal in the international market. According to the Association of Cement Producers of Nepal, the price of coal in the world market has gone up by 450%. This has also affected the Nepalese cement industry. A bag of cement accounts for 20% of coal. Coal, which used to cost Rs 14 per kg in Nepal, will now cost Rs 32. Likewise, the price of cement has increased by 20% per bag to Rs 120 per bag, according to the Association of Cement Producers. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. The world needs to cut off its production of fossil fuels in the coming decade to maintain a chance of keeping up with global targets, according to a UN report. The UN Environment Programme report found that governments have made ambitious pledges but continue to encourage the production gap, in which the increased production was setting bold climate goals. In one case, the US, which produces around 11% of greenhouse gases, exports significant amounts of its oil, gas and coal production, which means the emissions do not show up in the US inventory despite adding to the global total. The report found US production of oil and gas increasing to 17% and 12% respectively by 2030 compared to 2019 levels. Officials have therefore urged government to cut their production and stop plans to increase production over the rest of the decade. Moscow will reintroduce COVID-19 lockdown measures from October 28, Mayor Sergei Sobyanin said on Thursday, with supermarkets with pharmacies the only shops allowed to stay open in an effort to cut soaring infections and deaths. According to Reuters, the decision came a day after President Vladimir Putin approved a nationwide week-long workplace shutdown from October 30 to November 7. Instead, regional leaders could introduce tighter measures at their discretion. The partial lockdown in the capital, the first since June of last year, will also run until November 7. Sobyanin said all shops should close except these selling essential goods such as supermarkets and pharmacies. Schools and kindergartens will shut too, while bars and restaurants can only operate takeaway and delivery services. The measures reflect a growing sense of urgency over the relentless rise in cases, which the Kremlin has blamed on the low vaccination rates. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Newcastle United's new owners have held talks with former Roma manager Paulo Fonseca as they continue their search for Steve Bruce's replacement. Several candidates are being considered by the Saudi-backed consortium. Former Bournemouth manager Eddie Howe, ex-Borussia Dortmund coach Lucien Favre and Belgium boss Roberto Martinez have been linked with the job. Essential coach Graham Jones will lead Newcastle in an interim capacity for Saturday's game at Crystal Palace. Bruce left the club on Wednesday with a new consortium who took over the club 2 weeks ago, wanting to take their time to make the right appointment. Portuguese manager Fonseca was in charge of Roma for 2 seasons between 2019 and 2021, leading the club to 5th place in Serie A in the first season and the Europa League semi-finals term last before being replaced by Jose Mourinho in summer. On a night when Tottenham suffered a shock defeat at Vitesse, former Spurs boss Jose Mourinho was having an even worse time. The Portuguese endured one of the heaviest defeats of his managerial career and certainly the most surprising, as his Roma side were thrashed 6-1 by Bodo Glimt in the Europa Conference League. Roma trailed just 2-1 at the break after the Norwegian champions talks through Eric Botheim and Patrick Burrs-Curler, while Charles Perez replied with a clinical effort. Mourinho made 3 chances at the start of the second half and another 2 on the hour make after Bodo Glimt added a third, with Botheim trapping in the from range. But this was more misery to Mourinho and Roma as Ola Solbaekken's fine solo goal made it 4-1 before Alma Pellegrino added 5th and Solbakken claimed his 2nd. It is the first time in Mourinho's side has conceded 6 or more goals in a single game in what was the 108th match of the coaching career. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Post-monsoon death toll rises to 101, 41 people still missing due to floods in different districts. Prime Minister Gyoba inspects flood-hit areas in Sudur Paschim province, vows to prepare long-term plans to address the problem. Chief Minister Astalakshmi Sakya urges lawmakers to back her ruling coalition and freeze parties deny vote of confidence to the CM. UN reports urges world leaders to cut off fossil fuel production, ask big economics to keep up their promise. And Newcastle in talks with former Roma manager Fonseca, the club's new owners want to replace manager Steve Bruce. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.